Valley Talk on News Talk 1580 KGAL.
Welcome to Valley Talk. I'm Dave Adams. Glad to have you with us today. And we're going to have a very, very interesting show. We held over a segment from yesterday. We talked to Marie Dodds about gas prices and travel trends and the fact that they're going to be down just a little bit from last 4th of July holiday. And we'll talk to Marie about exactly why that is. We have our average investment guy, John Gibson, in the studio. We'll talk to him first thing. And then after Marie Dodds, we're going to have a lengthy conversation with, and I hope I get your name right, Quan. It's Quan Ma. And Quan Ma owns Bing's Restaurant in Lebanon. And we're going to talk about the American dream. Quan is very appreciative of being here in the United States, living the American dream. And we're going to talk about his father's journey from Hong Kong to the United States and the fact that this is still a land of a great opportunity. So welcome to Valley Talk. I'm Dave Adams, enjoying some liquid sunshine today. The sun, I looked down the road to the weather forecast, and this coming weekend looks pretty nice, but today is the day we're watering the plants, so enjoy. In Oregon, if you're new, it's what we call liquid sunshine. It makes everything green. Glad you're with us today. John Gibson.
Yes.
How are you doing, my friend?
I'm doing all right.
What's going on in the stock market?
The stock market basically doesn't believe Bernanke's recipe for what's going to happen. They don't believe that the growth rate is going to be as high as he thinks it's going to be to absorb the tapering off. And I told you a couple of weeks ago they were going to start talking about tapering, and now that's all we're hearing.
Quantitative easing.
Taking away the $85 billion a month that they're giving to the banks. They're going to start taking that away once they achieve a couple of objectives. The market doesn't believe they can meet those objectives, so we've had a pretty good sell-off, because what happens if they don't get those growth rates? Well, then you're going to run out of money, you're basically going to stop, and you're going to be stuck in the mud. So, for instance, we had an auction of 2-year notes today. They went at the highest rate that they've gone in for a long time, 0.43%. And the bid to cover, which means how many people want to buy the bond, it averages about 3.63. So there's 3.63 bids for every dollar of that bond, right? Now it was down to 3.06, I believe it was. Very low. That's a very big move. You've seen the 10-year note go from 0.167 yielding 1.67 to now it's yielding 2.6%, basically. It's gone 100 basis points in 6 weeks. So there's been this huge, sharp rise. That's going to cost us more money now to pay that debt. So most people are talking about, in the short term, it's going to be kind of rough, but long term, we're in a bull market. I don't know. I think that we're in a flat market, and I'm more worried about deflation at this point than I am of inflation. And deflation is a terrible thing.
Why is that? Explain deflation.
Well, inflation is when things go up in costs. It increases. Well, it becomes the opposite. You can't get rid of stuff. Nobody's buying nothing. You can't sell nothing. You can't. There's no market. And so you're stuck with inventory that you can't get rid of, and you have to start cutting prices, and then you lay people off, and it just becomes this spiral of economic bad stuff. I don't know. All the Fed has to do at some point is bump the interest rate up 25 basis points and because it's already priced in. If you look at the interest rate, they've already priced in the first interest rate bump. If you show the market that you know what you're doing, it's going to give you some confidence. It's going to shore you up. But right now, it's kind of going, I don't really think these guys know what they're doing. And Ben Bernanke is leaving in January, so he's basically a lame duck federal chief. The people that I listen to are very concerned about Bernanke being the only adult in the room, and now he's leaving. And look at the choices that Mr. Obama has picked for some of his cabinet places. We've got to get like a Paul Volcker or an adult. We have to get an adult in that job.
Any idea about who is going to be Bernanke's replacement?
They're talking about his undersecretary. It's a woman. I don't know her name. And if that was the case, I would be somewhat comfortable, because at least she's been with the program all this way. But the name I'm hearing is Tim Geithner, who's a tax cheat, and you're going to put him in charge of the Federal Reserve. So I don't know. My money, I'm still in the stock market. I've taken half of my position into cash. I've taken a part of my position into real estate. And I still have, I don't drop numbers, but I still have a considerable amount of money in the stock market. Whether it's in my IRA or a variable annuity or my own portfolio, I still have money in the market. But I am very concerned, and I am not confident that, if they put Tim Geithner in there, I don't know. To me, that would be very scary.
Are you going to take your money out of the stock market if that happens?
Well, the only reason I'm in the market is because there's nowhere else to be for dividends, So I think that I think if he probably got elected and we didn't win the Senate in 2014, I think I'm probably going to go to cash.
Interesting.
That's just my thoughts, but I'm going to wait and see,
When do you think they'll make a decision? Any idea?
Well, he retires in January, so they'll probably announce it in December, I would imagine. But the market doesn't trade based on the politics and government. It functions despite the government. Even Bush did incredibly stupid things that hurt the market. No Child Left Behind and Medicare D. All of those things were so unnecessary. He spent a lot of money too. I mean, it's not fair for me to say Obama is a wasteful spender and not criticize Bush too. Bush was wrong. He shouldn't have spent all that money. But I'm a fiscal conservative. But I just don't believe that a family can continue to rack up $2,000 a month in debt on their credit card forever and never reach a point to where they go bankrupt. And that's what we're doing as a government.
Well, hopefully there's some fiscal conservatism and some prudence will come to play.
Mm-hmm.
Now, so they always say you want the good news, you want the bad news.
Mm-hmm.
Which one do you want first? Well, today, we talked to John Gibson, and no news isn't quite as rosy as you would hope as you listen to John. Right now, and in just a few moments. First of all, we're going to be playing an interview with Marie Dodds, Oregon AAA, on gas prices and traveling trends compared to last 4th of July, down just a little bit. Kind of interesting why that is. But after we get done with that interview, we're going to come back and talk to Quan Ma, who is the owner of Bing's Restaurant in Lebanon. So, Quan, you still believe in the American dream, don't you?
Yeah.
Even though you've got the investment guy here next to you that painted not exactly a rosy picture of the future, you're still here. You've got a successful restaurant in Lebanon. You've been in the United States since you were 5?
I got to here on 24 when I was 24 years.
Oh, you've been in the United States for 24 years.
No, he got here when he was 24.
24 when
He arrived.
24.
He was 24 years old when he arrived.
Yeah.
What do you like about America?
Well, the freedom. And then you don't have to worry about all the governments and then tell you what to do. But here, I can do what I want to do and have a dream what to do. If you work harder, you can achieve your dream later on, sir.
Great country to live in.
Yeah.
We're going to have an interview right now with Marie Dodds, Oregon AAA, and find out about the gas price situation. This is KGAL's Valley Talk. And on this edition of Valley Talk, we have Marie Dodds once again, Oregon AAA. Marie, glad to have you with us on the program today.
Hey, Dave. Thanks for having me.
So what's going on with gas prices? They seem to be going down. Is that the trend, and how low will we go?
That is the trend. We have seen gas prices ease over the last couple of weeks, and we're not seeing dramatic declines this week, but most of our state prices are ticking down a cent or two. For Albany, we're at an average of $3.81. That's down a penny in the last week. The Oregon average is also down about a penny. We're around $3.80 a gallon, and nationally, we're down a couple of cents to about $3.60 a gallon. So earlier this spring, we were in a situation where gas prices here on the West Coast and in some other parts of the country, most notably the Midwest and Great Lakes states, our areas saw gas prices shoot up because of some regional distribution issues. We had a lot of refineries that were down, some planned, some unplanned, and that basically sent wholesale prices soaring, and of course we paid those prices at the pumps. Those situations, for the most part, have been resolved, so gas prices are really doing more what they would expect to do this time of year, and that is, we normally peak around Memorial Day or a little bit earlier and then head down into June. And so we're finally in that situation where gas prices are stabilizing a bit.
So as people get excited about going on vacation, hopefully this summer, when we look into the gas price crystal ball, what do we see?
Well, as you know, that crystal ball is always very, very murky when it comes to gas and oil prices. However, there are a few things going on. Most notably, of course, we've seen the markets tank over the last few days because investors are concerned about a number of economic issues, primarily concerned that China's economy may not be growing as fast as hoped. And that means that Chinese consumers are going to be buying less goods, and you get into this situation where that has helped to put a lot of downward pressure on the markets. Crude oil is a commodity. It tends to go up and down with the markets in general. So we are seeing crude oil prices lower this morning in the $93, $92 a barrel range. And this is down from about $95 to $98 a barrel just a couple weeks ago. So that's a pretty big drop in a relatively short period of time. So in the near term, I would expect that to help put downward pressure on pump prices. Now, the other thing going on is we have some concern about the violence in Syria. And Syria itself does not produce oil. But the concern is that if that violence were to spread to other countries, that could send crude oil prices up again in a hurry. So this is basically a balancing act between, what happens in China and the global economy, what happens if violence spreads across the Middle East. So those are things, obviously, we'll have to keep an eye on. But for now, what I think will happen is we will continue to see gas prices inch down a little bit between now and 4th of July holiday, and I think gas prices will be fairly stable throughout the summer. Now, having said that, obviously these things could change in a blink of an eye if anything additional happens with the economy or the Middle East, or if we get hit with some major storm.
What are you feeling for travel plans for the summer? Have you been able to do a litmus test there, a survey, maybe AAA or other organizations? What are people planning to do that you're aware of?
You bet. We do our own surveys on this, as you can imagine, and we also keep our finger on the pulse of travel nationwide and internationally. And for us here at AAA, Oregon, Idaho, our travel bookings are up pretty dramatically this year compared to last year. And depending on the category and type of travel, we're looking at increases from anywhere from 2% to 13 to 15%. When you look at cruises versus international travel versus domestic travel. But basically, every type of travel is up for the year. So people are clearly feeling better about the economy, and they're wanting to travel. But having said that, getting good value for your money is still very, very important to consumers. I don't think we're seeing as much of maybe the lavish vacation spending that we saw pre-recession, pre-2008, but people are wanting to travel. And destinations that are hot this year include London, which is still seeing an uptick after the Olympics last year. South America is huge for international travel. Europe has been coming back in a strong fashion over the last couple of years, especially, what we would call the core European countries, which include Italy and France and Great Britain. Those are all very, very strong this year. Domestically, we're seeing good travel to most of the Western national parks. Those are very hot destinations for folks from our area. And then if you're looking closer to home, of course, Central Oregon and Oregon Coast are perennial favorites when it comes to summer vacation time.
Now, are travelers getting more adventurous? You've seen a lot of staycations when times get really tough, but are people wanting to adventure out a little bit farther from home?
Yes, we are seeing that too this year, where we are seeing more desire for international travel. And if you have to pick one destination that's probably on a roll right now, it would be South America. And of course, that's a huge continent in and of itself, so there are a lot of destinations there. But we're seeing a lot of interest in a lot of different nations across South America.
Wonder why South America?
I think there's just been a lot of interest in that part of the country, and Costa Rica, for example, is really, really hot right now. And you're right, these things do tend to go in phases. And I think South America is one of those places where maybe a lot of people have not gone. They want to go, and now seems a good time to go.
And let's hope that gas prices continue to stay low. Now, what is the favorite? Is there a favorite mode of travel? Are you seeing one trend over the other, like car, planes, trains, automobiles? Which way are they going?
And again, that depends on the destination. So, for example, if you are going to South America, obviously you're going to be flying. Probably that's your number one choice.
Yes.
If you're traveling closer to home, car travel tends to be the dominant mode for shorter vacations. And in fact, when we look at 4th of July travel, about 80%, greater than that actually, are going to their 4th of July destination by car. But air travel is also up for that holiday, even though airfares have increased compared to last year. So it is very interesting that, car travel tends to be the one that's chosen for larger groups and shorter distances because it's more flexible and is generally more economical than trying to pack the entire family and all the gear onto a plane. But air travel is also coming back a little bit, even though airfares have increased. I think people have gotten used to the new normal when it comes to airfare and all the restrictions and all the things you have to pay for. And so air travel is rebounding a bit this year.
Now, the next holiday coming up, of course, is the 4th of July. What are you expecting as far as travel? More than last year? Less? Any idea?
Yeah, we have our 4th of July AAA travel projections, and we are anticipating just a eensy-beensy decline. It's a 0.8% in the number of travelers compared to last year. AAA projects that almost 41 million Americans, or almost 13% of the population, will travel 50 miles or more from home over the long Independence Day holiday weekend. So very slight decline. And this is predominantly due to the calendar, not the economy. Last year, the 4th of July fell on a Wednesday, so folks had a 6-day period for vacationing. This year, we're back to the more standard 5-day holiday. And of course, last year with the 4th falling on a Wednesday, it meant you could take off the weekend before the holiday, you could go the following weekend, or anyway in between. This year, there are fewer travel days, so that's why we're seeing that small decline. So it isn't a situation where, oh my gosh, the bottom's falling out of the travel industry. In fact, looking at the stats this year, it's actually showing a very healthy travel experience for the numbers, because you would expect maybe a greater decline than what we're seeing because of where the holiday falls this year.
Okay, if you're going to be traveling, good luck. Be safe and have fun, and we hope to see a lot of traveling this year, boost the economy, and everybody have a good time. Marie, thank you for talking to us today.
You're welcome, and have a safe and happy 4th of July.
And happy 4th of July to you, and in the holiday to come. Valley Talk will continue in just a moment. We're going to be talking to Kwan Ma, who is the owner of Bing's Restaurant in Lebanon, about the American dream. Is it still alive? We're going to be talking about that in just a moment. This is Valley Talk, and we, my friend, will be right back.
Bender Mechanical presents the annual Star Spangled Celebration at Cheetah Lake Park in Lebanon, July 4th. Gates open at 6 with food booths, kid games, bounce houses, the Samaritan Fun Walk, and more. The day ends like it should with a great fireworks display, including the explosive wall of fire that's twice as big this year. The Bender Mechanical Star Spangled Celebration on the 4th at Cheetah Lake Park in Lebanon. Just $10 a carload or $3 walk-ins to this great family event.
Mike Rowe here. So I'm at a Ford dealer talking with customers about how taking care of your car is kind of like taking care of yourself. And I asked, which is in better shape, you or your car?
I would say my car.
Probably the car, because as you get older, you start breaking down.
I wish I could say I was diligent about my body as I am with a car.
Who's in better shape, you or the Ford Edge?
I have a bad wheel, I must say,
right.
But I do take care of my car.
Get Motorcraft brake pads installed by the Ford service experts. $99.95 or less, minus up to $50 in mail-in rebates when you use the Ford service credit card. That's just $49.95. The brakes made for your vehicle. What's stopping you?
My dad always said if you take care of your car will take care of you.
You got to take care of yourself.
Yes, you do.
You got to take care of your baby.
Oh, yeah.
Taxes extra, rebate by check, subject to credit approval. Pads or shoes on most vehicles, one axle, exclusions apply. See participating Ford dealer for rebate details through 8/31/13.
You probably know the former Hair Express in Lebanon has relocated as Studio 709 in Brownsville. Remember the address? 709 Amelia Street. The phone number? 466-3250. Once you stop in, you'll always remember how much you like their haircuts. At Studio 709 at 709 Amelia Street in Brownsville. Phone 466-3250. Studio 709, where they always take unforgettable care in hairstyling.
Deep clean, squeaky clean. That's what you want for your home and business. TM Janitors has been providing just that for years throughout the Mid-Valley. Glowing reports from Paloma, North Albany, Corvallis, Lebanon. Happy, satisfied clients. Great value, too. A fraction of the price of the national franchises. Get a quote from TM Janitors today. Mention this ad and get $50 off your initial deep cleaning. Call now, TM Janitors, 570-9711. Make a note, TM Janitors, 570-9711.
More Ink Printing in Albany. The same people and the same passion for printing and serving you.
I'm Mike from More Ink. At More Ink, we can make your presentations pop, your business cards connect, and your brochures become bold. Letterheads, manuals, menus, flyers, event posters, and programs. We do it all at More Ink.
Mike and his crew at More Ink are still around to get your custom projects noticed. More Ink on Sandy M Road in the Carriage House Plaza in Albany. Visit moreincalbany.com.
Call 541-928-2675 for More Ink.
The Car Show, Saturday afternoons on News Talk 1580, KGAL.
Welcome back to Valley Talk. I'm Dave Adams. 11:27 is the time. Hope you like the liquid sunshine Oregon style, and it does make things green. The American dream, is it still alive? We are here talking to Quan Ma, who is the owner of Bing's Restaurant in Lebanon, and when we posed that question to him off mic, and his response was yes.
That's right.
Quan, thank you for being with us on Valley Talk today.
You're welcome.
What is it, when I say the American dream to you, what image does that put in your mind?
Because you have an opportunity to experience in your life, and then when you work hard, and then you get the reward, and so it's you always have a goal in your mind. If you want to be successful, you keep working hard, and then you will be successful.
Now, you own a restaurant, and the profit margin in restaurants isn't very large. A lot of restaurants have failed. You're still in business and still working hard, and you believe hard work is key to being successful, don't you?
Hard work and also the honesty. That's the most important thing. You treat your customer right, and they will give back to you. Otherwise, there's no way to survive. For the restaurant business, recently it's not good because the economic is all affects unemployment. It also affects, and the last thing. Gambling is boy, everybody's love it, and then the pocket machine, and then the lottery, and so these kinds affects the business. If 20 years ago, the business much better than today's business.
And it's not because of competition; it's because of money being siphoned off from gambling and unemployment and things like that.
Right, that's true.
However, you haven't given up, right?
Almost, because last year I put the restaurant for sale, and but later on, my son and my daughter-in-law talking about that. Let us try it and run it, and then see get it back on the business or not. So that's why I changed my mind and let them. Run the business, and then I am willing to gamble on these investments. Let them get the feet wet, and then learn by experience. Most important than anything else.
One of the things that's always impressed me about the Japanese and Chinese culture, and we've talked about this before we went on the air, is the respect the young people have for their elders. And I've talked to some people in the Japanese and Chinese culture, and what is happening is it's being westernized a little bit. Are you seeing that that's kind of eroding a little bit or going away, the respect from the younger for the older generation?
Eventually, when the first generation, second generation, and third generation, you see a little bit step away because when those young generations get more involved in this society, they had to be survived, and they had to get used to what they learn in this societies. Otherwise, they cannot survive in these societies. It doesn't make any difference because when we have an opportunity to educate in here, and then the lifestyle learning in here, eventually will drift away from the original cultures. But the children at home, we are the parents, still teach the valuables, value to them, and learn the way to respect the parents. And so that's most important, the oldest person in this society. That's good because we learn and then respect to them, and then we'll learn a lot from them again too. People, important thing, when you teach them at home, they will learn it and then they will use it in their life. That for their benefits is important. Not only teach the skill, but also get the manner at home. So that I think is important.
For the culture that's, have you been to Hong Kong or China recently, or the last few years?
Yeah, I went to Hong Kong and China many times.
Is there still the respect in that culture between the younger and the older generation, or is that starting to erode or decrease a little bit?
They still keep that tradition in there. They still respect to the older one, but that also have a question mark. Whenever it will change, time will change.
Now, you've been in the United States for 25 years?
Oh, no, 47 years.
47 years?
Yeah.
Glad you came. And why?
Well, because my father immigrates from 1947, because after World War II, the life in China is real hard to support the families. After the World War II, the families was destroyed. All the belongings after the war, they gone. The cow and the hog and the sugar canes field is all gone. So my father at that time...
What happened to it? You said it's all gone.
Because Japanese armies all take care of that. And then
they took it.
They kill it.
Japanese and Chinese don't like each other.
Yeah, I understand.
Yeah, at that time. So that's even though we're at the village, not at the big city, but they came down and then took everything they want to take.
So your father...
My father.
Decided to immigrate to the United States?
Yeah.
Why did he decide to come here?
Because I have an uncle at Oakland area. So he applied him over here. So have a better opportunity to make a living in the United States.
And how old were you when you came over with your father?
I was a 5-year-old.
He didn't come with his father. His father came all by himself. And It took 19 years for his father to get the family over here to America.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
What was it like right after World War II for people of Oriental descent? Was it difficult for your father coming over here to the United States? We just finished a war with Japan and Germany. Was it difficult?
It was real difficult. Because everything after war, and then you have to rebuild, and the government at that time is not ready. And then there's communist Chinese, and there's the government have a war during that time. So it's the life in China is not that easy. So that's why when you have some opportunity can come over to the United States, and then you would like come over here to looking for the new life in the United States.
So when your father came over, did he want to start a restaurant? Did he just want to work as a cook? What did he do when he first came over?
Okay, When he first came over, he stopped by Stockton, California. He worked with his cousin 7 days a week and the 12-hour days. And every time when he want go to school after work, and then the school all over, so he did not have a chance to learn too good language in that. So he had to learn by himself, and then cooking in the restaurant there. After 5 years, and then he came out to another city around San Francisco, LA, and then Redding in California to learn more cooking skills. About 1963 or 4, he came to Oregon, exposed the new opportunities. He have a restaurant at Redding called L&M with the partnership with other people. But end up
in Redding, California.
Yeah. No, Sacramento, California.
Sacramento.
Yeah. And then after he sold the business, he came over to the Oregon. First of all, he stopped by Portland and working with the restaurant at the Portland area. And later on, he knows restaurant in Lebanon would like some help, and then he came down here to get a job here. And later on, he opened the restaurant by himself.
So your father came over here to the United States from Hong Kong.
From China.
From China.
Yeah.
You were 5 years old then, and it took 19 years for him to bring his family over? You mainly?
Yeah. Because at that time they have immigration problems with the China, and then they don't want too many Chinese come over there. So after 1963, so we have opportunities come over to the come over to the United States.
Now, what was his responsibility as from Chinese descent, living in the United States, family still back over in China? Did he send all his money back to support the family? What responsibility is there culturally for that?
Well, because what the commitment to your families, when you have a family, you the responsibility to pay this support to the families. When the immigration officer asked my father, what do you have evidence for any document to prove you support your families? My father spent up 20 years the money orders list copy to show him it's okay, no problem. So that's a commitment to the family.
Stack of them.
Yeah. And so it's a real important. When we have a responsibility to support the family, so we all the people did that.
Does that still happen today? Back decades ago, your father had the responsibility to support the family back home. Does that kind of thing still happen today, or is everything become, again, more westernized?
Well, it still happens today. And most people, after marriage, go back to China, marry, and then they have to wait maybe a couple years before the wife can come over or husband come over. But the person in the United States will make the commitment, send the money to support the family.
Okay. We're talking to Quan Ma, who is the owner of Bing's Restaurant in Lebanon, and he is from China and Hong Kong. And we'll continue on Valley Talk here. We have our average investment guy, John Gibson, and we're going to be talking more with Quan in just a moment here on Valley Talk.
The Osgood File, sponsored in part by Kronos, providing cloud-based workforce management solutions for organizations of all sizes. Kronos, Kronos. Workforce innovation that works. More at Kronos.com. This is Charles Osgood. We're surrounded these days by things that are smart, which is to say interactive. Well, now, in conjunction with Microsoft research, some German inventors in Potsdam have come up with something called multi-toe. It's a smart floor.
As I'm walking across the surface, everything I do on the floor leaves imprints. And so, for example, when the floor sees two shoes, it will conclude that I'm probably standing.
Patrick Bowdish is one of the inventors. The smart floor concludes other things, too, like who is standing and why and what's going on.
It doesn't only see things directly in contact with the area, but it concludes a lot of things that happen above.
More after this.
Hi, folks. Jay Farner here, president of Quicken Loans. We're thrilled to have helped over 125,000 homeowners save money by refinancing with HARP. But there are millions more of you who could be saving big money on your home loans by getting HARPed. With HARP, you may be able to refinance with Quicken Loans even if your home has lost value. For example, if you owe $300,000 on your mortgage, but your home's only worth $150,000, Quicken Loans may still be able to help you get HARPed and start saving. Or if your current mortgage is higher than 3.99%, give us a call today at 800-QUICKEN. And for 3 years in a row now, J.D. Power & Associates has ranked Quicken Loans highest in the nation in customer satisfaction for primary mortgage origination. Once again, if your current mortgage is higher than 3.99%, or if you owe more than your home is worth, call Quicken Loans today at 800-QUICKEN or go to QuickenLoans.com.
For J.D. Power & Associates award information, visit jdpower.com. Important terms and conditions apply. Call us for cost information. Equal housing lender. Licensed in all 50 states. NMLS number 3030.
A floor that can track movements of people in a room might help take care of the elderly, says Multitoe's co-inventor Patrick Bowdish.
So if you have that sensor and imagine it covers your entire room, you could certainly use it for interactive applications. A particular scenario we're caring about is one of assisted living. We envision a future world in which the house itself knows more about its inhabitants and can then support us.
There are some architectural and privacy issues, of course, so Bowdish and his colleagues are adapting the smart floor into a portable smart carpet.
When we move into an apartment, we just roll out that carpet. And unlike a system, that could offer similar functionality using cameras, it will respect our privacy in a much better way because it gathers only very, very little data, just the amount of data that actually needs to support us, but not data that would make us uncomfortable.
How smart everything will get, we don't really know as yet. Drones in the sky already spy, and now I have the feeling it might be watched wall to wall and even floor to ceiling. The Osgood File. Charles Osgood on the CBS Radio Network.
Red, white, and blue. This fair's for you. The Lynn County Fair is coming July 18th through the 21st. And this year, catch outstanding entertainment like Kansas, Collective Soul, and Steve Holy. Thursday is Senior Day. Seniors get in free until 3. Sunday is Support Our Troops Day with free admission for all active military. And remember, this year, kids 12 and under are free every day when accompanied by an adult. The Lynn County Fair, July 18th through the 21st. Red, white, and blue. This fair's for you.
Hi, folks. Jay Farner here, president of Quicken Loans. We're thrilled to have helped over 125,000 homeowners save money by refinancing with HARP. But there are millions more of you who could be saving big money on your home loans by getting HARPed. With HARP, you may be able to refinance with Quicken Loans even if your home has lost value. For example, if you owe $300,000 on your mortgage, but your home's only worth $150,000, Quicken Loans may still be able to help you get HARPed and start saving. Or if your current mortgage is higher than 3.99%, give us a call today at 800-QUICKEN. And for 3 years in a row now, J.D. Power & Associates has ranked Quicken Loans highest in the nation in customer satisfaction for primary mortgage origination. Once again, if your current mortgage is higher than 3.99%, or if you owe more than your home is worth, call Quicken Loans today at 800-QUICKEN or go to QuickenLoans.com.
For J.D. Power & Associates award information, visit jdpower.com. Important terms and conditions apply. Call us for cost information. Equal housing lender. Licensed in all 50 states. NMLS number 3030.
Into the woods and onto the waters. Listen to Northwestern Outdoors, Saturday nights on Smart Talk 1580.
Back on Valley Talk, 11:45 is the time. The American dream still alive and well. That's the topic of the second half hour of the show today. We're talking to Quan Ma, the owner of Bing's Restaurant in Lebanon. And glad to have you with us on the show today. One of the things that we asked him during the commercial break, asked Quan, we've talked about a lot of things here on the show. What would you like to mention? If we gave you a few minutes to just say you have a chance to talk to the people on the radio, what would you like to say about any topic?
Well, first of all, I will thank the people, the American people in Lebanon, helping us for the family reunions after 19 years separations. Pastor Marshall helping my father fill up the paper for the application, and Senator Mark Hatfield, helping us to speed up the paper. So, and also when we came over to Lebanon, the accountant and all people give us the hand helping us. We feel the friendly and the helping us. I really appreciate that. I know my father at that time cannot do this kind of thing without any help from American people. American people is fantastic. I sincerely thank you what they helping us. And then also I have an opportunity to get my education in the United States. And also when I work hard and I can support my children, got their education too. And the business doing well at that time. So it's all things come together. If I don't have an opportunity come over to the United States, I do not have this opportunity to fulfill my dreams. I have a great family, and also I have 4 daughters and 2 sons. They mostly finished their educations and all on their own now. They have their own family and have their own business. Husband and wife all doing well.
And you're also blessed with a wonderful wife named Betty.
Right.
I came at, not only are you a hard worker, I came out of Costco one day and she had one of those big pushing things full of restaurant supplies, and there wasn't anybody helping her load that stuff. So I went over and I said, hey, Betty, let me load that up for you. But she was going to throw all that stuff in there all by herself. She's a hard-working woman.
Yeah, I agree with you. Because the 6 children are all by herself, take care at home, and provide the light to the church, and there's children, the sports activity in schools. So I always appreciate my wife helping me out. Mm-hmm. At that time, I was 7 days a week.
Yes.
So it's not the easy times.
You're slowing down a little bit. Not 7 days a week now. You're.
Yeah. Right now, we close on Monday, and then so it's have a day off, and then do some errands when we need it. Yeah.
Do you want to retire?
Definitely. Yeah, I want to retire, and because I have something I want to do after my retires, and I would like to have so many things to waiting for me to do after I retire.
But I must say, I see Patty has been there since I came back to Lebanon in 2002. Patty is still working for you. Mm-hmm. There's a lady in the kitchen. I forget her. I think so. She's been there for as long as I can remember. You have some very loyal employees.
And Donna too. Mm-hmm. Yeah, most people working there is over 20 or 25 years. Some even 30 years. So it's a real a gift for me. Because all employees are helping us out. No matter how great the business is, that employees is the most important part in the business. So if you have a good employee, they all helping the business growing and have a better result.
What message would you have for the young generation, maybe the young Caucasian or white American kids here in the United States, as they're here kind of hanging out and maybe aren't too excited about the future? Have you ever wanted to tell them anything about their country or about their future or whatever? What advice would you give the next generation who lives here in the United States?
humble, and then appreciation.
Those are two things that I don't see in young kids anymore.
Humble and what?
Appreciation.
Appreciation.
Yeah, because we come over here, we not complain. We just do our work and then make a living. And you complain, and then not that the way to do it. If you work hard, and then you earn a couple penny a day, 2 days, 3 days, 4 days, you save enough money. It's not complaining. You can save enough money to buy your own home, and then you save the money for your retirement. We all have all way to that. Here have all opportunity to provide you to achieve this goal. Otherwise, if you spend too much money, you don't save any money, and then you don't save any money.
That's a bad thing. Education. How important is education?
Well, I tell you what, the Chinese all believe education is most important in their life. They're always talking. You can, in the book, you can find a pretty wife. In the book, you can build your future, your wealthy future. So these kind of things, we all emphasize education is so important in our culture. We all send the children to finish school and then get higher education. If the family are affordable, they always provide that tuition and the book and expensive to their children without any complaints.
I have a kid in college. I loved what you said off mic. You said, I'm not a really rich guy, but all my 5 kids are through school. And it's like, now you understand, because college is expensive.
Do you think the kids should pay their own way, or should mom and dad help them?
Well, I would like to say different. American have American way. I appreciate that because they train the kid independent. It's important and don't have to depend on the parents. But as a parent, I would like to spend the money on my children, provide them to get the education rather than I spend the money for myself. I'm not rich right now because I have a 6 kids went through the course. So I just I enjoy myself, and I'm real happy because they all get the education they want. So
we need to take a break. We need to take a break right now. We're running a little bit behind. Quan Ma, owner of Bing's Restaurant in Lebanon. Valley Talk, the American Dream. We're talking about that today, and also the Chinese and Hong Kong culture. More about that when we continue in just a moment.
Well, I like to see what the farmers brought from the fields around to the market lot. Seems every week it's a different crop down at the farmers market. Down at the farmers market, the best berries and cherries you've ever seen. Sweet corn, tomatoes, peaches and beans, and cider and pumpkins for Halloween. Down at the farmers market. Down at the farmers market.
The Corvallis Albany Farmers Markets are now open Saturday in the City Hall parking lot at 4th and Ellsworth in downtown Albany, and every Wednesday and Saturday on the north end of the riverfront in downtown Corvallis. Enjoy live music and a large variety of locally grown farm products. For more information, log on to locallygrown.org.
At the farmers market, friends and neighbors gather round. At the farmers market, see what can be found. There's fruit from the orchards and produce from the ground. And you can meet the folks who grew it when the farmers come to town.
See you there.
Hello, this is Mark Tunstill, General Manager of Mallard Creek Golf Course in Lebanon. Have you always thought golf is too expensive or takes too much time from the family? At Mallard Creek, we promote families golfing together. All of our memberships include free golf for kids under 18, and memberships start as low as $99 per month. Visit us on Facebook or simply call Mallard Creek at 541-259-GOLF. That's 259-4653. At Mallard Creek, we honor the game's traditions and are leaving a legacy for our children's grandchildren.
Hi, this is Shannon Jones of Jones 5 Auto Sales on 9th Street in Corvallis. Let's be honest,
You have never given a dealer a hug for the price of a vehicle or the amount given for your trade-in. Over 90% of customers don't like the negotiation process, so I have tailored it to your advantage. With upfront pricing on every vehicle, a pre-discounted price, complete documentation to view, and the ability to go online while you're shopping here. After delivery, I will accept hugs, handshakes, and high fives at Jones 5 Auto Sales on 9th Street in Corvallis. You'll love the way I do things.
Hello, this is Bob. You know, you don't have to drive to Portland to find fine dining and great service. At Mama's Fine Italian and Wine Shop, we draw regulars from Albany, Salem, and Corvallis, and all over Oregon to our little place at 50 West Oak in Lebanon. Mama's is fine dining with casual atmosphere. We offer tableside wine service with retail prices. Our light appetite entrees begin at $5 on weekdays, which makes it affordable to feed the whole family in style and often. Now, whether it's a quiet social or business lunch, perhaps a special occasion, or even some fun family dining, call us. Reservations are not required but recommended, so call 541-451-5050. That's 451-5050. You can find our menus online at mamasfineitalian.com, and we're open Tuesday through Saturday and now Sunday for brunch at 11.
Mama's Fine Italian and Wine Shop on Oak between Main and 2nd, across from the Big Blue Napa Auto Parts building in downtown Lebanon.
Yahoo Sports Radio, weekends on 1580 KGAL.
Yahoo!
Back on Valley Talk, we are here with average investment guy John Gibson and Quan Ma, the owner of Bing's Restaurant in Lebanon. One of the things that we were talking about a lot off mic. Be kind of interesting to just leave the microphone turned on during the commercials. You might have a hard time hearing the commercials, but here what some of the things we're talking about during the break. And Quan says it's very, very important to contribute to the community, to help the community. You want to share your feelings about that?
Well, because the community is really important to us. When we earn something from these communities, and then if we have an opportunity, we'll give back to these communities, and even to the country too, you know.
And family too. You have a cousin here in Albany, right?
Right. I have a cousin, Peng Lee. He operates a paint garden in Albany. Yeah.
And it's Pings in Albany and Bings in Lebanon. I think that's funny.
Talk about that. How did that happen? There's a Pings and a Bings. There's a story there.
Oh, Pings is my cousins. They immigrated to Colombia, and when the times about the 1979, we used labor's immigration quarter to apply them come over to helping us. At that time, we need some help in the kitchen, so we apply their family come over to the United States, and then when after a couple years, he learned this from us, and then he come over to Albany, opened his own restaurants, and he doing really well, sir.
Which one's better?
Well, I think that. No. Okay, Peng is have a better idea. He have always create a new menu.
Yeah.
He's a pretty good. Yeah.
Oh, they're both great. I eat both places.
Okay. Hey, we got to cut it off here. Quan Ma, owner of Bing's Restaurant, Bing's with a B in Lebanon. Thank you for being with us on Valley Talk today. Thank you for sharing your ideas about kids, culture, contributed to the community, and so on and so forth. Thank you for being here today, and Bing's Restaurant is where we need to be for lunch, right?
Thank you.
John, thank you. It's always a pleasure to have you here on Valley Talk. I'm Dave Adams, and have a good day. Bye-bye.
Serving the Mid-Valley for over 50 years. You're listening to News Talk 1580 KGAL, Lebanon, Albany, Corvallis.